Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon or Rising. And Saggi, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for February 3rd to the 9th. This week we have the Answer the Call Oracle card. We have the Eight of Swords, Justice, the Magician, the Four of Wands, Strength, and the Seven of Pentacles. So we've got three, fairly significant major arcana here, guys. And generally the more major arcana in a reading, then the more impact the event that is unfolding has in your life, and the more closely it can be linked to our soul contracts, our life lessons, karma, that kind of thing. I mean, we see, some sense of mental prison or, feeling, weighed down, or maybe even in victim mentality here. It could be because, you have reached a place in your life where, you are tired of investing energy in places where you don't get the returns, and you're really being asked, to have the strength and courage to bring that back into alignment, to have some kind of modification happen, and from there, you unlock your potential completely, Sagittarius, and just move into greater stability. So let's kick it off. Before we go to the tarot cards properly, let's read out the oracle card. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Your guidance is divinely guided, and you're being called to answer the call of your soul. It might be scary, it might not make sense, but if you trust your soul's yearnings, you will live a life beyond your mind, what your mind could possibly imagine. Answering your soul's calling is not a one-time thing, rather a lifelong dance. Deep down you already know what you long for, what your soul yearns for. Whatever you're being called to do, this is your calling. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for permission. Just say yes. Most people are waiting for a step-by-step plan before they take the first step, but intuition doesn't work like that. It takes faith and courage to answer the calls of your soul, and that's why most people don't do it, but you are not most people, Sagittarius. Yeah, okay, so, answer that call, Saggi. What are you being called to do? Well, I really feel that you are being called to free yourself. To free yourself from what keeps you small, from what keeps you confined, from what keeps you constricted, so that then you can invest your time and energy into, what makes you feel truly powerful, truly abundant. The Eight of Swords is, the card of that mental prison. It is, it can be a situation that's made us feel like the victim, be it a relationship that hasn't served us, maybe dealing with someone who puts you down, manipulative, maybe just a job that's just been drudgery, and it's just been a really hard battle for you. It can be. Now, the thing about staying in that kind of situation and not freeing yourself from it is that we start to lose the connection with our higher self. And when we do that, we lose the connection with our life path and our passion and purpose and what we really came here to do. You can see this person's bound around their third eye, heart almost, and stomach. So for me, this indicates that by staying in a place of negativity or over-analyzing or lost in the mind, lost in the thoughts, lost in the ego, we lose our connection with our intuitive centers. Therefore, we can't make really good, decisions for ourselves that are truly aligned with our heart. Now, you might be feeling in this place of negative energy. Swords are the suit of the mind, so this is, the mental, it can even be anxiety, depression, victim mentality, feeling like the martyr, that kind of thing. And I feel like you've been in a situation that maybe has driven you to feel like this, and the situation is potentially something that you put a lot of time, effort and energy into, but you may not have got that in return. Maybe you were doing a lot of giving, maybe even over giving, and not receiving. And that can be okay for a while, but in time, we end up feeling hard done by in that situation. So this is time for you to take a pause, Saggi, and, really recalculate, think about, reflect on where you've been spending your time and energy. Where could you better spend it in the future? How can you balance up the situation? Yeah, time to make wise investments now. Because, this week is really the time to make some kind of adjustment to that situation, and being called to have the strength and courage to do so with this justice energy here. Now, just in line with that strength card, guys, this line in the strength card can be our inner demons or our egoic side, and this angel can represent our higher self. So maybe some of you need to coax your mind, your ego, back into line. And, through doing that, that's when you tune back into your higher self and unlock your potential. And that can be what is required to free yourself from this situation. And it can also be, the strength and courage to bring justice to a situation. And justice, in a situation indicates a fair and just modification needs to happen to bring these scales of life back into balance. Now, that could just be an honest and frank conversation with someone saying, hey, I don't feel like I'm getting an even deal. I've been putting in all the effort. Where's your effort? Can't we even the score? It could just be that, there's going to be levels to this for some of you. For others of you, it might even be, okay, we need to dissolve this relationship. I need to leave this job. I need to leave this team. You're not a fair manager for me. So it will be different for all of you. But justice can indicate legal proceedings and, digging out the work contract to see what your rights are, initiating divorce or separation, seeking legal advice as well. Maybe it's something to do with a property agreement. It's all that kind of agreement. But there is a sense of victory here with justice, and the victory is always with the party that it should work out for, not the person that just demands or wants it. Now we have 2 number 8s in your reading, and number 8 is that number of mastery and power. So by getting, mastery over your mind, bringing yourself back into an alignment and power, that is when you are going to unlock your potential. And that's when, you're really going to be able to be in a position of strength. And, you really need to be in that position before you can bring justice to a situation. It's very hard to do that when we're feeling out of personal power. But I think if you can, start resolving that situation, Saggi, it's just all onwards and upwards from there, because we have the magician. The magician is the magic maker. And the magician also has this, infinity symbol over his head. This is about awakening to the fact that, oh my gosh, you had the power all along. You are the creator or the co-creator of your own reality. And this is an awakening this week to understanding that all along, even when you thought you were in a state of lack, that you had all the tools at your disposal that you needed in order to create what you wanted, in order to bring justice to the situation, in order to bring things back into alignment. And the magician can use that insight and those tools to create something abundant. And there is the saying with this card, which fits perfectly with this reading, as above, so below. And it means that, change and alchemy and transformation starts in our internal realm, because by shifting our realm internally, by lifting our frequency, by getting out of victim mentality, by being positive, reframing the way we see the world, shifting perspective, that's when we start to transform our external reality, because our external reality is a reflection of our internal realm. So it can be a real time to do some internal work, to really do some affirmations and think positive this week. And I really feel that this whole transition that you're going through is going to lead you into a place of stability. The 4 of Wands is a card of stability. These wands are like the 4 sides of a square, a very stable structure. It also talks about abundance. And, also, once you're in this great place, that abundance can come in many forms. Yes, it can come in pentacles, money, physical resources, tangible offerings, or it can be love, joy, harmony, bliss with another person. But either way, this is you moving into much better times and much more solid times. And there is the element of synchronicity with the 4 of Wands. As we see the 11-11 formation here. And, so that is an indication too that through releasing yourself from whatever this energy is, that you're going to be maybe tune back into that intuition and start to sense the signs, the symbols, and things that are happening in the finer realms around you. And there might even be opportunities that arise through those signs and symbols or synchronicities, serendipities that the universe is going to bring you as well. And it's all trying to get you back into a position, Saggy, where you are able to answer that call, but to reconnect with your purpose, to hear the yearnings of your soul again. Because I don't think this person in this card here, an Eight of Swords mentality, can have access to the calling of their soul. You are now opening that back up. And when we do that, that's when our life truly starts to transform. Okay, Saji, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Do keep in mind it is a general reading, so it won't be for every one of you guys. Feel free to leave me a comment because I always love to know how it's shaping up in your daily life, and I'll see you back here next week for another reading.